Get involved now. Be on the right side of history. Be on the side of good. Wear the white hat. This is your chance to be involved in human history.
You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit. You fucking goddamn fucker.
There's a fucking murderer right down the hall.
We should not submit to dehumanization. I don't know about you, but I'm concerned with what's happening in this world. We're going to stand up and we're going to be human beings. We're going to get fired up about the real things, the things that matter. Creativity and the dynamic human spirit that refuses to submit. Well, that's it. That's all I got to say. It's in your court.
The power mad on the Hill had a big sit-down in both chambers. They had to get to the bottom of the radical domestic terrorism sweeping the country.
The horror of domestic violent extremism is still with us.
You can call it a riot or resurrection. This man died while he was in the middle of this attack on our Capitol.
I can't wait until black people leave black people!
No, not that radicalism. Haven't you heard? Black Lives Matter and Antifa firing guns into innocent citizens' cars is the new peaceful protest.
The ideological outlook of the individual committing these alleged crimes is not important to the Department of Justice. But what resources has the department dedicated to identifying and prosecuting the individuals responsible for the violent acts last summer that were aimed at institutions like courthouses and police stations?
As you might expect, I know more about the resources we're putting into January 6th because most of those resources have been put in on my watch during the time I've been here.
An Asian American viciously beaten on a New York City subway. NYPD officials say they're still investigating whether it's a hate crime.
The J train beating is brutal. Fists flew both ways until they didn't. Eventually, an Asian man passes out after getting punched, choked.
Tonight to a story you saw first on 2. A woman is now charged with a hate crime in connection with an attack on the owner of a beauty supply store. Keandra Young is one of 2 customers accused of assaulting Jung Kim on St. Patrick's Day.
Another suspect slammed a 71-year-old grandmother to the ground, yanking her purse so hard that the strap broke off. And here, this one is really disturbing. A 91-year-old man shoved so hard, knocked to the ground.
Oh, no, not the overwhelming black on Asian hate crimes. They're still trying to brand that as white supremacy.
I don't doubt that to some extent the COVID virus has increased hostility or resentment or racist attitudes among some white people.
Hey man, knife fights are just a thing.
Horrific attacks that we've seen
happens in high
video,
school all the time.
Widely available to the public time and time again. The attackers are not white. What the Democrats or the far left have done actually quite effectively in the past year or so is to libel former President Trump for something that the Democrats themselves actually are very much guilty of.
No, Congress and the intelligence community have had their sights set on a scourge threatening their precious corporocratic country club for decades: patriotic Americans.
Unfortunately, the horror of domestic violent extremism is still with us. Indeed, the FBI assessed that 2019 was the deadliest year for violent domestic extremism since 1995. In March of this year, the intelligence community, in a report drafted by DHS, the FBI, and the National Counterterrorism Center, under the auspices of the Director of National Intelligence, assessed that domestic violent extremists pose an elevated threat in 2021.
Racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists are the most likely to conduct mass casualty attacks against civilians, and anti-government or anti-authority violent extremists, specifically militia violent extremists, are the most likely to target law enforcement, government personnel, and government facilities.
I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Mark.
As Minority Report becomes reality, the Department of Homeland Security plans to launch a warning system to detect domestic terrorism threats by gathering and analyzing intelligence on public social media posts and making predictions on future actions.
And so what we are doing is dedicating analysts to understanding the narratives that are being communicated on the social media platforms and identifying linkages between those narratives and indicators of intention to commit violent acts.
So rather than deal with real international terrorism threatening our open borders, our tax dollars will go to an intelligence community morphing into Silicon Valley.
It is a very, very important constitutionally, as a matter of constitutional law, that we both protect and safeguard individuals' right of speech and right of assembly. Yet we address with all our law enforcement capabilities those who really predicate acts of violence on false narratives and dangerous ideologies.
And as the madness ensues, free speech itself has now become a political prisoner. John Bound reporting.
Welcome back to DecideWhatSide, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Midnight Show, May 11th, 2021. You heard about it already. Biden's America, gas lines, and inflation, and rising food prices, all part of the new normal. My name is Chris from Austin with Wesley Boyd.
Howdy. Oh, just sitting here like being called a terrorist. It's really nice. Don't you?
Yeah,
do you like it?
Automatically a white supremacist, man.
Fuck, man.
So I have to tell you that we can no longer continue to do this program.
You know, I was listening to him really close to the end. You know, he said nothing that actually implied any action. He said predicated on, it's like predicate, to base or establish, to state or affirm. It's like to carry a connotation, like, it's like, wait, so if they predicate the ideology, like, so, like, wait, they don't have to actually do anything violent? Like, it's all double speak, it's all mind games, dude. Like, you're not, like, no, you just have a bad ideology, we're gonna come after you, dude.
And honestly, they already said, if you want Second Amendment, free speech, freedom of religion, if you want the right to assembly, you are a white supremacist and you will be eliminated. You will be taken to the re-education camps. I mean, guys, the camps are coming. Let me just tell you, I mean, this is why I'm telling y'all need to change your perspective on life. FEMA camps are going to show up. You know, so I mean, I just see people chasing the wrong priorities and like putting so much faith in the current system.
Yeah, but a lot of those people aren't gonna like they're not gonna be persuaded, you know. We're kind of it's turning into like, you know, preaching to people who actually want to see and actually want to look. You know, and they're out there. It's just we don't run into it very often.
Yeah, well, the system is tracking everybody, and so you know, that's why it's called DecideWhatSide. It is still DecideWhatSide, even though we're streaming from Blessing 777. It do continue.
That's what all the alt tech is. Decide what side, locals.locals.com.
Right. Maybe it's kind of like how Infowars is like the website. Snap. Infowars is like the website, but Alex Jones is the product. He's like the he's
information. The
domain.
information's the product.
My bad, I messed that one up. Alex Jones is the show. Infowars is the website, but it's like 1776.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. Well, anyway, so now they're just gonna start labeling people who don't agree with them terrorists. And it's just like, okay, so now we're in the Bolshevik Revolution period. We're in like, when they start saying like the proletariat this and the bourgeoisie that, landowners this, the rich people this. It's like they did all they need taken out. They don't agree with us.
Transgenders.
Yeah, you don't like trannies? Shit. You're out.
Transgender lap dances for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Dude.
I hate all these conservatives like wanting Caitlyn Jenner to be governor of California because Gavin Newsom sucks. Just because Gavin Newsom sucks doesn't mean you need Caitlyn Jenner. Doesn't mean you need a tranny who killed. You don't need a woman who killed a woman.
Caitlyn Jenner is a grown ass man that needs to sort out his mental problems together.
That nobody would care about him right now if he didn't get that surgery and do all that crap. Nobody would give a shit.
It's totally ridiculous. California is doomed and set for destruction, guys. If I was you, I would be moving as far away from the preferably somewhere, with conservatives, but man,
right. I think the cities are gonna have to implode in on themselves.
The way America feels is if somebody went into a classroom full of kindergarten kids and released a whole beehive and then locked the room, and everybody was all panicking and there's stuff going on everywhere. It's just chaos. That's kind of how it feels like to me. I know that's a weird analogy, but I'm just saying there's a lot going on. And did you see New York had that Hamas or Palestine versus Israel group?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, dude. Just like people don't even live there, freaking out over it.
So while all of this is happening, let me just remind you guys of this. And I guess this kind of brings it into the big picture and reminds everybody what things are all about. Because while we're over here letting the army walk around with mini skirts and whatnot, China is saying we are now ready to defeat the U.S. And I believe, I don't know what the deal is, but I'm pretty sure China was working with the globalists, like the Rockefeller Rothschild Western Banker Group. And China was, from what I understand, China was told they were going to be the economic powerhouse and America would be the military power, like 50-50 division of power or whatever. And then China now thinks they can go for the gold. And that's where we're at. They released the coronavirus. They think we're stupid, but who knows where it all goes down. But the point is, it's obvious that they want to spark a World War III or at least some other big war, regional war. What do you think?
Oh, I think a lot of it might be bolstering, but at the same time, like they're kind of right. Our military is demoralized, and it's like our standards are shit now. Now they don't really even have standards because the women couldn't cut it. It's like, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about those pull-ups. Don't worry about so many push-ups, real push-ups. You're a girl. It's fine. Like, sorry. Like, girls don't belong in the military. for the most part. So
that's Texas.
yeah, so
no, I don't care. I mean,
yeah,
all
I'm
I'm
just
saying
saying,
is,
like, so who cares?
yeah, all I'm saying is like, people need to wake up and realize World War III is about to break out within the next 5 years. So, if you go read what happened in Europe during World War II, with everybody going broke, there was no jobs, everything shut down, people were going hungry, food was super expensive, women started prostituting themselves to feed their families. I mean, people, this is reality. Well, the dollar is gonna crash, right? And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying this because um we need like a wake up call for everybody. Maybe that's more of what the show is, a wake up call. Would you say so?
I don't know. I don't even know what we call our show.
Decide what side.
I don't even know what you. I don't know what you mean though. Like, what are we type show? Anyway, let's get to a little more news.
To what?
No
Canada?
news.
News what? What news?
Right.
Well, check it out. Joe Biden. Well, we'll save that for our dumbass of the day.
All right.
But man, crazy news on Joe Biden right now. But yeah, go ahead. What do you want to hit?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, just what you're saying, the vaccines. Now there's famous people, royal family got the vaccine. Now they're having blood clots. Seems really, really safe to me.
Oh, Eric Clapton.
No, well, I saw Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton got it too.
Would you say he's a household name?
Yeah, one of the greatest guitarists of our lifetime, of most
So
people's
your
lifetime.
grandma would know Eric Clapton?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm just saying, because I feel like a lot of Black Americans would not know who that is, and
It's
Mexican Americans.
he's just look him up. We all got smartphones. He's a guitarist, really good one, like crazy guitarist, crazy good guitarist, I guess. But I know he's a household name. Not really sure any details.
Yeah. No, I guess.
So now, go ahead. What?
No, I mean, I guess in a way he is. I mean,
all right.
Mainstream.
So I want to do a bigger report on this, but the CDC, they're talking about their credibility is going away with COVID going away, and it's just like they're saying they don't really like. We don't really know. People have been guessing with the restrictions and all that, and there's no. And it was like a teachers union. And then there's like a teachers union, and the CDC and the governors got together and decided when they were going to reopen the schools. Right? It's like this magical reopen date. And it's just like, okay, cool, yeah. So a bunch of Teamsters controlled by the Democrats just decided with the government when we're going to open schools and when we're not to. And they're going to negotiate the terms and all that, how much paid leave they got, blah, blah, blah. And like they're just, and it's like the CDC is just like, oh, sorry, our credibility's going away because COVID isn't as bad as we say, and that's a dangerous thing because we're gonna save lives. We gotta save lives, so our credibility needs to be really good, even though we just got everything wrong. We can't. That's a bad thing. We can't let that happen. It's just like, no, you were wrong, dude. People should trust you less.
Yeah. No. It's ridiculous how far people go to defend Fauci and the lying establishment. Like, I actually had this young woman say, I was talking about how, remember when they first said, "Oh, you don't need a mask. Masks are crazy. Ha ha ha. Why would you wear a mask?" And then, masks are a good idea. You should probably wear one.
Yeah, I
And
know,
then
right?
you have to wear one by force. And if you don't have one, you don't come into the store. And I mean, I was pointing that out, and then people were like, that's because as we learn more about the virus and more information comes out, we are able to adapt. That's how science works. I'm like, you moron.
Yeah, no,
So what are
and
you gonna do when
you
you have
know,
no job?
people, Richard, David Hawkins, he's went to Cambridge and he's really big into like New World Order and how the globalists work and all that. And he was talking about how a lot of experts are like, okay, here's this hypothesis, and I'm gonna plug it into my model, and then my model like is gonna tell me whether or not your hypothesis is right. That's how a lot of experts work. You know, they expect stuff. You know, it's like nothing to do with like testing it and science and knowing what they're doing. You know, so everybody depends on these experts. It's just like experts don't know crap. They have models. The Imperial College of London, it was just a model that ended up being complete and total BS.
Very interesting.
You know, we were supposed to have millions of people dead, dude.
From yeah, what about that? What about when they said millions of people were gonna die? And I believe that big one is coming. Do not get me wrong, but
Yeah, now that we have the vaccine making everybody viral factories.
Right, that too. Yeah, but this was just the trial run to see how everybody would react. They saw everybody going along with it, so they went ahead and pulled the bigger guns, which is the shedding of
Right.
vaccine recipients. Now, I don't know how it works, but it seems like whatever they're being injected in, this protein RNA is multiplying and reproducing and kind of like leaking out of their skin and getting other people sick.
Right.
Correct?
It's just you
And
become
we're
a
talking about like
virus.
dangerously sick.
You become a virus. You become a virus factory, and then you start spreading it through regular virus spreading. You know, and it gets worse and worse. You become a petri dish for a virus. That's how it works. You know, people don't think, oh, vaccine makes me safe. This is mRNA. You know, spike proteins on it. Bada bing, bada boom. Like, this is not me. This is like, you know, scientists and doctors, epidemiologists talking about this. You know, and it's just like, okay, cool. Like, COVID might be around, but it's not like anything worse than it's ever leaked out. There's been lots of stuff that leaked out. You don't think the first pneumonia that's leaked out of a freaking, you know, we had this, it's a bad flu year. Yeah, it's probably a freaking virus got leaked out of a lab. You know, they've been working on SARS and COVID viruses this whole time, gain of function. Who's saying accidentally, quote unquote, release some stuff last 10, 20 years?
There's so much evil in the world, and these people know big biological attacks are coming that will eclipse the damage done by nuclear weapons. So, all I'm saying is, get right with God because the big storm is coming, man. Anyway, I mean, what do you think in their current game plan? Do you think they would release Ebola this year? Because I think that's not even out of the possibility.
Well, it's like, it really depends on like how far we push them. That's always how it is. Like, how far are we gonna push them? If we let them be, if people just release, they're gonna like slowly, incrementally, they're gonna go a little faster. But the more we fight back, the faster they're gonna go. So they might, but at the end of the day, Ebola, dude, just get people just need to up their vitamins, up their nutrients, up their exercise, all that stuff. You know, be a healthy person. We can't be slobs anymore, maybe. Sorry. You know, maybe a few million people are going to die, but that doesn't mean like you're going to die because, you know, you're healthy. It's like, that's the thing. It's like we might get sick. You know, even in Africa, during that whole Ebola breakout and everything, they'd have like 5 or 6 people in the village and be like, oh, so horrible. And, you know, end of the world this, end of the world that, it might get to America. You know, so it's like, it's not going to be everybody. It's going to be the people who are immunocompromised and already maybe got cancer growing. And I'm sorry for those people. It's sad, but, you know, can't really like force everybody to be healthy. Maybe this will turn people healthy. Start making them eat organic. You know, I don't know.
I'm on the same page.
It's like a culling, but it's like not like a man-made culling in a way. It's like God, the way God would do it. It's like, okay, you gotta get healthy to survive. It's like, oh, I want to keep eating burgers and from McDonald's. Not even a real burger. Burgers from McDonald's. I don't give a shit. And it's like, okay, you're gonna die.
Man, burgers from McDonald's are really bad. I remember when McDonald's used to be like pretty good, and it was kind of like the standard, I guess, for kids.
Dude, I can make a mean burger just as fast as McDonald's. Like, it's not that hard. A burger's not that hard to make. They have it streamlined.
Yeah, and it's overpriced now, and they don't even
Oh
give you
yeah,
that much beef. They give
the
you like
dollar menu, the value menu now.
Of waffle meat.
Freaking $2.50 for a McChicken. Last time I was there.
Really? It's like $1.79 over here.
Okay, maybe it was that. Maybe it was like $1.50. I remember that shit for $1, dude.
Yeah, and we actually have the spicy.
Dude, that's me too. Like I remember that even when I was eating horribly, I didn't really know any better, dude. It'd be like, you know, have like, I got like 4 ones, man. I'm gonna go get me some McChickens.
Yeah, dude. Remember
it's like
when these have the
3 McChickens and a drink, man. It's great.
Remember when they have the double? What was it?
Anyway,
cheeseburger for $1.
Yep.
Okay, that's
crazy shit. Now whatever, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna have to get to the point where everybody's, you know, not gonna, you know, they don't get to screw around no more. Sorry.
We gotta start.
You know, people
seeing what's
really and then people
in front of us.
And people make the stupid argument of like, you know, oh, runners, you'll see them just die of a heart attack, and then you'll see someone who like eats like garbage live to be 80 or 90. And it's just like, you know, the person who runs all the time, you know, they probably just don't get their vitamins and minerals and nutrients. And if you run out of those, dude, you will just collapse. Your heart will just stop. Like, even though you're no blockage or anything, your heart will just stop because it doesn't have the right nutrients and minerals. It's crazy.
Stuff.
Yeah, and they run it out of themselves, like through water and sweat and everything. They like run themselves dry of anything, and they don't supplement a lot of times.
Wait,
people who run a lot, like marathon runners and everything, you'll see them like die of heart attacks. Yeah, because because they don't have vitamins and minerals and nutrients, so they sweat it all out. So then they have to, like, their heart will stop. Like, that will happen.
Yeah, the salt.
Yeah, well, no, just everything.
That's what you're saying.
The salt.
You gotta drink more Gatorade.
No. You need to get your vitamin mineral fusion.
Well, real quick, what do you think about the Israel-Hamas situation? Well, I guess we don't have to go there, but the did you see that they destroyed that one building with AP in it?
Yeah. I think we need to stop funding. I think everybody needs to stop funding both sides and let them go at it with horses and swords. That's me. What is Israel? Israel doesn't really have much for resources, dude. They have condos that a bunch of rich Jews buy. Not disparagingly, there are a bunch of rich Israeli and like Jewish people buy up. They buy land in Israel and becomes like a tourist spot. They don't have they can't sustain themselves. They need money from everybody else.
You think
Palestine's the
it's
same way. They need money from everybody else.
You think
Huh?
it's some kind of magical, uh, like atmosphere to it, and that's why people go to Israel?
I
Because
think a lot of really bad people
Israel's
took
not like
over
a
the
flub
kingdom
of
of
Europe,
the kingdom of Jerusalem.
Israel is
Fuck
considered like
Israel.
first world standards, or no?
Huh?
I don't want to sound ignorant, but is Israel considered like first world standards, closer to first world standards?
I don't know. They
Do you
get a
think
lot of
they're
money
more
from
developed?
America. I don't know, third, maybe a
Like,
little under first world, but probably first world, yes. But the
dang.
thing is, dude, they don't have their own. They don't have their own economy or anything. Let them sink or
Right.
swim. I say. We have our own problems. So.
What do you think of this headline? Chinese military scientists suspected of involvement in COVID-19 creation elected to American Academy of Microbiology.
That doesn't surprise me. We have Chinese infiltrators everywhere. Every time I see a Chinese person, like a professorship, who's like, oh, came from China. Like, oh, Chinese agent. That's cool.
Man, these guys are all here watching and spying and sending technology back.
Oh.
So people don't even know how much they.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't. He didn't. She didn't come here to spy. She came here for education. It's like, that's cool. She might come here for an education. And then when she got here, they call her and be like, all right, listen up. You're going to do what we say or your family's dead. It's like, what do? You go do it or your family's dead. Like, it's better to work for the country who's your country.
That might have been threatened like that.
Who knows? You could be just an ideologue who believes in it. It's a mixed bag, just like everything.
You heard it here first from Wesley Boy. DecideWhatSide. Yeah, so this dude was working on stuff for decades. It's just crazy how the whole time they were always working for China, trying to screw you over. So people realize.
Yep.
I don't know if it's because the TV or people have been made to believe that if you criticize China, you're racist, and we don't want to sound racist because you want to be cool with every country, right? And it's cool to have friends from everywhere, and that's true. It is cool to have Asian friends, Filipino, Vietnamese, Kenyan, Argentine. You know what I mean? Different cultures. It's interesting. But with their whole the whole gospel of inclusion and diversity is meant to divide you and everybody else.
I think there's a lot of people who really need to I'm tolerant except for stuff like, there's certain rules. You don't steal, you don't cheat, you don't murder, that kind of stuff. There's some cultures where it doesn't matter. So, it's like not all cultures are equal. It's just like, what if one culture says it's okay to steal from another culture or other cultures because they're not us? It's like, oh, they're just different.
They're not the same.
Right.
Club.
Right.
Lmao.
Right. Who knows? It's just like, okay, so as long as we agree on that, I don't know if I care about what you believe in spiritually, but then even then I do. It's like I think a lot of people need to be able to discriminate more than they're allowed to. People aren't allowed to discriminate anymore. It's not like, oh, you can't lynch somebody. It's now you have to love them and let them do what they want and never question anything, or else you're hateful.
Man, let me show you this dumbass of the day video. Let's see here. And
you dumbass.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further
Jeer Biden.
It's vaccinated or masked. Get vaccinated. It's vaccinated or masked. Get vaccinated.
wait,
Vaxid. Vaxid. Vaxid.
it's supposed to be
Vaxid.
mask. Can't speak English.
Vaccinated. Vaxed. That's what he said. Vaxed.
Get vaxxed or wear a mask.
Vaxed. I'm repeating the president because he's the smartest man, most oratorial man on the planet. You know. Vaxid.
I believe that was the first attempt.
It's vaxxed or masked.
Oh.
It's vaxxed or masked.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, someone came up to him and shot him up with heroin real quick. Or shot him up with some adrenaline. Whoa!
They're probably like, Joe, look here, Joe. Open your mouth. Here comes the airplane.
Could be a deep fake.
Ooh, here comes the airplane.
Do you really think? Yeah, I think it might be a deep fake. Who knows?
Yeah, because
with this freaking administration.
Weird. His posture is weird. The way it's set
sitting
up,
on desk.
Big background.
I don't think you think he could jump up on that desk. I don't think so.
The background looks fake, and then just have face only moves.
It's vaxxed or masked.
Man,
it's like the face is like moving out. I don't know. Whatever. We're conspiracy theorists, I guess.
It's a new lie. Remember, that's what they're saying, but you still have to be.
Yeah, watch him. Let's watch him.
It's vaxxed or masked.
What?
Yeah, he looks like a sad old man saying it like that right there.
It's vaxxed
or masked.
That's how he looks. This doesn't look like the body twin. Like the body double. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway.
This is us making fun of demented people and people of old age.
Hey, when demented people are in charge of me, in charge of my fate, I get to make fun of them.
Well, when I see a person grabbing on everybody's ass and touching kids and smelling them and being a pedophile openly, I don't care anymore. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people need to wake up and realize that's what's at the bottom of the road. You know, there's a reason why they're all evil. There's a reason why everything they put in Hollywood movies is now coming to pass. I'm not saying they're prophets, but I'm saying they were like planning to get you here without you even knowing it. So.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm good on that if you are.
Yeah, subscribe to DecideWhatSide. Follow us on Locals.
DecideWhatSide.locals.com.
Periscope. And keep DecideWhatSide alive. Give us a like, subscribe, and share. Share the message because we are hardcore resistance. This is the hardcore conversation that people should be having. Subscribe to DecideWhatSide and also Blessing 777 on YouTube. Thank you very much.